Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy. As always, here with Noel, my husband. All these good mornings. Hello, Bella, Kelly's Place, Southern Charm, Amy's Treasures. Those of you that I'm missing, I'm so sorry that it's going so fast. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. The Vintage Gypsy Brie. Hello, hello. The Polish Picker Brandy. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Today's a special day for me. Not really for me, for Zoe. So it is the first day of 10th grade. We are back in school. Oh, Liz, I'm feeling you. I'm so tired too. I was up till about midnight shipping, and then it's not like you can finish shipping and go straight to sleep. So of course, then there was answering emails and the wind down time. So I only got a couple hours sleep last night also. First day for you too. Nice. Good morning. You have a freshman and a pre-K. Oh, hyperfixated mama. When Zoe started kindergarten, my middle daughter was started her senior year, or no, had just finished her senior year. So I had one just finish a senior year, and then the baby start kindergarten the next year. I was thinking about this the other day, you guys. I have had a child in my house. I have been responsible for another human life for 36 years now. Over half of my life, more than half of my life, way more than half, I have been responsible to keep somebody else alive. That's a little scary. Like when you think about it like that, and Zoe's the last one. We only have a few more years, but wow. It just kind of dawned on me that I have had a child. I've had somebody that I've had to think about other than myself consistently for the last 36 years. Talk about commitment. I'm not patting myself on the back, but we talk about commitment on whatnot and consistency. Think about it with your kids. That's a whole lot, right? Good morning, Hidden Lane. Hyperfixated mama, I totally understand that struggle. You're looking at prom dresses and you're looking at, cute little frilly things for little kids if they're girls. Completely two different age ranges and kind of perspectives. So what else are we saying here? Good job staying sane. Yeah, not sure I'm actually sane. I'm here. We're not going to go to the sane part quite yet. I have two kids, 17 years apart. Greta's guarded. So between my oldest and my youngest, I have 21 years between the very oldest daughter and the baby. So boys are so much cheaper. Do you guys agree? My boy was the easiest too. And I know we're not talking whatnot. We'll get there. But the difference between the boys and the girls, for me, my boy was like, oh, you know what? I have one sock. I'm good. And my daughter's like, I need 13, if not 30 different pairs of socks with special characters on them. Like complete difference. Your son is bougie. Oh, and you think when they turn 18 it would get easier. Not at all. I would take a toddler any day over a 20-year-old. Any day. I worry more about the grown-up ones than I ever did the baby ones. What is a raid? That is a great question. What is it? Let me see. Velvet Toadstool Vintage. Hopefully I got that right. So a raid is when somebody finishes their show, and instead of just saying, okay, everybody, bye, and they end their show and they leave, they pick another seller and they bring everybody in their room and they go to that other seller's room. So you're in essence, you're blessing another seller by bringing a big crowd. And sometimes it's just you, and that's okay. Sometimes raids are 1, 2, 3 people, and that's fine. It is like they accepted etiquette to raid. It is almost frowned upon just to end a show. You're looked at kind of like, why are you just ending? Why aren't you raiding? So there's no rule that you have to raid. It's just kind of looked as the social etiquette to do on whatnot. I am a firm believer in raiding too. Thank you for sharing the show. There is somebody that runs, and I'm not going to name names. It's somebody that I know personally. And it's not Southern Charm or I Love Discounts because I know I talk about them all the time. That's not who it is. Somebody else I know personally that never raids. And I've said something, and I just think it's so weird. I mean, they're great people. I still like them, but I just think it's so weird if you don't raid. Personal opinion. A raid train. All right, let's talk about a raid train. So a raid train. Hello, Yugachi. Hopefully I got that one good. Yeah, it just is weird if you don't raid. So a raid train is kind of the same thing, except on a much larger organized scale. So a raid train has a conductor, like a train has a conductor or two, and they usually will center around some type of a theme. Let's just say primitive decor. And everybody signs up, they get them all organized, and it is seller A raids into seller B and then into seller C. So it's a nice organized list. You know exactly who you're going to raid into. It's not so much your choice, and it's all structured and scheduled out. That's a raid train. Swamp Chick, you know some who don't. I don't know. Yeah, they don't do anything wrong. It's just weird. Again, it's not terms of service. It's not something you have to do. It's just a kind of a nice thing to do. It brings into that community environment. Somebody else in the chat said it's that sense of community, and it really is. So I sometimes don't raid because of anxiety or because I want to restart a show. Now, Liz, if you want to, I can totally get that. But I thought even if you raid, you can restart within 2 hours. Am I correct in that? Because I said that the other day, and so I may have given misinformation. Oh, you can. My husband's saying yes, no, but everybody's saying yes. So even if you raid, you can restart. But I get that. I'm more like the people who never raid. Like the one person that I'm really hyper aware of just never raids. And when I've asked why, they're like, why? I don't need to. And it's not even like in a rude way. It's just like, why? I don't need to do that. They are also, I got to look at it from both sides. Southern Faith, I will get to in 1 second. I'll answer that. They are also, they don't socialize on whatnot. They don't go into other rooms. So they're not really, they're here to sell. That is it. They do fine, make decent amount of money. They're here to sell, and that's it. So they're not really ingrained in that community spirit. So it makes sense for them, I guess. Okay, so how do you restart a show? I should probably let my husband answer that because every time we have issues, he's the one who has to restart. Oh, that's interesting, Swamp Chick. I already said, Swamp Chick red chat me. I was going to read it out loud, but then I said who it was, so I'm not going to read it out loud. Very interesting theories, though. Okay, how do you restart a show? So you end your show, you raid, you hit end, and you tell your people, first off, if you plan on restarting, make sure you're letting your audience know so that they know that their shipping carries over and to come back and see you, for one. And then, you want to say how to do it?
So you open Whatnot on a web browser, you go to your shows, you go to your past shows within 2 hours, and your last show will be listed on the very top on the past tab on the top. You hit past, and then once you do that, you'll see your show and it'll have the option to restart. As soon as you click restart show, it'll move it back to the ongoing shows or upcoming shows. So once you do that, you can restart your show either from the computer or you can do it from the phone. If you decide to do it from the computer and you start from the computer by mistake, you can still go into your phone, open your phone, and click the 3 dots, and you can select an option that says stream from here, and that will transfer the show to your phone.
There you go. And then also what Liz likes about, it's in the middle of my chat, so I don't know where it is for you, everybody looking on their phones, put it in print. So she actually wrote out the steps. So if you want to go to what Liz likes, and you can copy and paste that somewhere to save it for future reference too. Good morning, Pit Love. Okay, I have to tell you guys about an adventure I had yesterday. So most of you know, I've talked before, I got kicked off Facebook. They banned me. Facebook doesn't like me. Long story, basically I sold a knife, or tried to sell a knife. It was a rusty knife, pocket knife, didn't even open. The worst you could do would be to throw it at somebody. You couldn't even get the blade out. Anyways, I tried selling it twice. They said, no, too bad, so sad, get out of here. And I got banned on all my accounts. I have been trying to get back on Facebook, not because I want to sell. Selling sucks on Facebook. I don't ever want to do that again. But I want to be able to source. I want to be able to buy from people on Facebook, especially in my local area. So I have been trying to get back on Facebook for probably 7 or 8 months now. I have appealed it. I've tried everything and I can't get back on. So I'm like, okay, I'll just make another account. Easy enough. Good morning, Faye West. We'll make another account. They have some type of IP something, and I think somebody gave me that idea. Somebody's like, no, it's your IP address is what's wrong. So anyways, we figured this out. I got a Facebook account again. I've always had Zoe's Treasure. I mean, I've had the Facebook, but I finally got an account where I can get Marketplace. That's the key with it for me. It was getting into Marketplace. And yesterday, I just got this. Like what? Yesterday morning, honey, we did this. Yesterday morning. Yesterday afternoon, I already went and picked up a huge glass collection. Dirt cheap. I was so excited. Mint condition glass, like a good deal. My husband's like, don't say dirt cheap. It was an extremely good deal. Probably about 22 pieces of glass. And I get there and I'm like, hey, making chit chat with the guy. And I'm like, are you a reseller? Like, who has this much nice glass just sitting around, right? He's like, oh no, this was our collection. My wife's redecorating, just doesn't want it anymore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like we're talking mint condition, gorgeous blue and green pieces. So I was so happy about this. I'm like, yes, this is paying off first day. But you know what it made me think of? It was pretty awesome. Southern Charm. I was, after I left, I had to call Lysandra at I Love Discounts. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Because when I first got back on, I'm trying to search and I'm like, all I see are all these people trying to tell me about their antique booths. I couldn't find anything. So I messaged Lysandra and I'm like, how do you find stuff on Facebook? Because she finds stuff all the time. I'm like, how do you find stuff? Because all I'm seeing is like these ads trying to get me to come to their antique booths. She's like, you've got to be specific. She says, put in the actual names of things you're looking for. So I started doing that, and lo and behold, she was right, and I found it. But you know what this reminds me of? Is that adrenaline hit, that dopamine, but it's that addiction where you get one great deal, one good thing happens, and your mind, and I don't know the psychological name for this, I didn't have time to look it up, but I know there is a term for this. You get that one really good thing that happens, so then you continually seek that good thing again in the same place, even if it may not happen. It's like if you buy one scratch off lottery ticket and you win $50, you're going to continue to think, oh, I got a chance at 50. I got another chance at 100. So your mind looks at that win versus looking at how many times you get nothing. Oh, am I frozen for everybody? Can you hear me? Let's see. What's going on with our internet? Glitchy. I'm fine. Yes. Okay, it's glitchy. He's working on our internet, so hopefully. Okay. Can you switch it to Starlink or something? All right, so what's going on with it? Okay, we're working on it.
Sorry, guys. Our internet just took a nosedive. So we'll see if it picks up in a minute.
Okay, you can hear me. I'll keep talking. We'll see how well this goes. All blue and green. Does that mean land and sea glass show? Maybe not land and sea glass. I'm going to mix it up. I have a raid train coming up. So I am going to be on, let's see if I get all the names right. Engalon, Potter Thrift, maybe Potter Thrift 2 or 2 Potter Thrift. It's Potter Thrift, and JT Entertains has a Dirty 30-30 raid train. And Inga invited me. I'm super excited. It is a raid train where you got to sell at least 30 items in 30 minutes, and it's like a competition, and they have teams against each other at the end of September. So I'm saving some of those pieces for that because it's going to be more high-end type pieces. But, okay, I love it. You guys, if my husband doesn't think I'm centered, he comes over here and grabs the bottom of the chair and yanks me over. So I'm saving some for that, and then I'm going to mix some in some other shows. Much clearer now? Is our internet back and we're going good again? Okay. So I forget where we are going, but we were talking Facebook. We were talking about how that one win conditions your mind to think you're going to win that way every time. That's why we will kind of push aside some of those, like with the lottery tickets, with scratch offs. It's that dopamine. And I wish I knew the psychological term. I feel like a failure because I don't have that. But think about this in your business. A customer comes and gets one really great deal. Maybe they're that customer who picks up something for $1 that you were hoping was going to go for 30 or 40, and somebody gets it for $1. What that does for that customer is far greater than what it's going to, one item for you going for that 30 or 40. So your initial possible loss is actually offset by the gain that that customer gets and the lifetime value that that customer is going to bring back to you then. So it's once that customer gets that really great deal, that one thing they're getting from you, every time they see your name, they're going to be like, oh yeah, there's a good chance I'm going to get some. I'm going to go back. There's a good chance. So it made me think that. So when I was thinking about this Facebook marketplace thing, I know moving forward, not every day on Facebook is going to be like my first day yesterday with the marketplace, finding this great deal. But just knowing that it's there and having it happen once is going to hook me to keep looking over and over and over again, because now I know it's possible, right? Same thing happens to our customers. So yeah, newbie luck yesterday, totally. But psychologically, I'm still going to feel that urge to be like, oh, it's out there. It's out there. I can get it again. I want you to think about that when you have a sale that doesn't go really the way you want it to. Think about the other things that you gained in that instead. Good morning, I Love Discounts. Good morning, Lintro. Came back, still glitchy. Okay, hopefully he's trying. It looks like our internet's just sucky today. I do not know why, but we'll see what we can do. If it gets super bad, you guys let me know if it gets really, really bad. We'll call it a day early, but let's go on as far as we can. Good morning, Sunshine and Grace. Yeah, he's over there working on everything. Okay, Friday. Is yours kind of funky too? Yeah, I don't know. Is there advice for how to max shipping and not get in trouble? Coastal, no. And not get in, I'm not sure what you mean not get in trouble, unless you're referring to not having to pay a lot of money. Let me know what you mean by trouble. But I'm going to give you a couple pieces of advice, not having to pay a lot of money. Okay, so first piece of advice, that person right above you, ilovediscounts.com, they do a shipping show every Monday at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock. You have to go look at their schedule. It's in flux at the moment. But it's every Monday night for sure. Go check them out, and they will walk you through shipping, answer your questions and all the detail. They're going to give you everything. The next thing I would suggest is looking at the items that you're selling. One of the big keys to maximizing, it's I Love Discounts. They're two above you, Shiwu. One of the keys to maximizing your reduced shipping is to look at the items you're bringing. So don't bring oversized items. Save them for another show when you're doing buyer pays all shipping, or save it for another platform. Bring smaller items that are going to fit in that 1 to 5 pounds. And then also understand the fact that if you go over 5 pounds, if a customer is buying 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 items from you, they're paying for that. Maybe not, they're not paying the shipping, you're still maxed, but you're making all those sales. Those sales in itself should offset that shipping cost. So I have never really seen getting in trouble or having to pay too much for shipping. I've always seen the fact that my sales exceed the cost of the shipping, whatever the shipping's costing me. So part of it is changing our mindset. And then the other part of it is making sure that you're bringing the applicable items. You need to really think through your mix of products when you're doing a reduced shipping show. Okay. Am I back on it? I have something to tell you guys. So first day of school was today. I want to know, do you have first day school traditions with your kids? We'll keep talking whatnot, but I want to know, do you have first day school traditions? I'm going to show you ours as soon as I read Coastal's question. Yes, it's more the right weight setting, so it's real instead of overweight actual. I'll catch the shipping show. So it's real. So if you're doing max, most people who do max, and it depends how new you are. If you're brand new, I don't suggest doing this. Most people who do a max shipping will use like a 4 to 7 or a 7, 4 to 7, 7 to, or 8 to 11, something like, 4 to 7, 8 to 11 ounce. They will use one lower shipping setting to control the cost on the front end, but you're still going to pay on the back end. That just makes it so you don't overpay on the front end. You still are going to have to change your box and your weight size and pay any overages on the back end. Yes, Whatnot automatically bundles, and actually, Almost, I cannot read that. I'm sorry. Almost a Farm. Almost. There we go. Almost a Farm, Tennessee. Took me a minute. Almost a Farm, Tennessee. Whatnot has a really good bundling system. It's pretty sophisticated where they bundle based on the weight that you put in and the zip code it's going to and what would ultimately be the cheapest shipping cost. So it's actually a really good bundling system that they have automatically. Make them take. So, okay, so school pictures. Southern Charm said she would always make her kids take a picture together. I bet they love that. I have more than one, so I know how that could be. We only do pictures. We were going to, and then we had 3 first day of school pictures. Every year I would gift my kid, with a small gift and a token of inspiration. I love that, a bird theory, to celebrate the first day and a fun surprise gift on the last day. Now you make me jealous that I didn't start that like 30 something years ago. I love that one. Our first day of school tradition, and I only did this for the baby. I'll tell you what, she came later. So between the baby and the one above her, there's 8 years. So I already had one out of the house before the baby came. It was a little bit easier. I had older kids. She's the last one. So she got a lot more attention. The other ones, the first 3, we're lucky if I have pictures. The baby though, before pre-K, I made a big t-shirt and it says class of 2029 on it. And every first day of school, she has to wear this shirt, not to school, but for a picture. And I take a picture of her. So I have a picture of her in this exact same shirt every first day of school since pre-K, now just this morning up through 10th grade. We have 2 more years to go, actually 3, because I'm going to make her do it before she goes off to college. So every single year, and I'm going to show you her pre-K and her picture from this morning, except now here's the one here we messed up. We moved, at one point we moved and we lost the shirt. So I have 2 pictures in the whole series with a different, like a temporary shirt that I had to go and make at the last minute because I couldn't find the right one. But then we finally found the right shirt. So make her wear it to school one day. I think that would be awesome. But I'm going to push aside here and we're going to show you her pre-K so you can see what this looks like. He's going to put it back here. So this is Zoe of Zoe's Treasures pre-K. Here's her shirt, class of 2029. And this is this morning's. That's not this morning. That's pre-K. He's getting this morning up there. Maybe. There it goes. And this is her this morning. So same shirt. This is pre-K to 10th grade. And she does this pose. Ever since about 2nd grade, she's been doing this exact same pose. So I had to share, that's our tradition. I had to share that with you guys. And thank you so much. I think she's beautiful too. She is the only one in the whole family with brown eyes. And she for some reason, she hates it. I tell her they're her sparkly brown eyes. And she's like, no, they're my poopy eyes. And I'm like, but I think she's beautiful too. But of course, I'm just a little bit biased in that. So, all right. So we talked about first day of school. I'm considering starting bin sales. They do. So Sunshine, bin items that are purchased during your show will be bundled just like items that you're auctioning. Works exactly the same way. Now, if they buy from your marketplace, those don't get bundled. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. Marketplace ones do not get bundled, only your bin and your auction. Yours did. So if they buy marketplace during your show, I've never made a marketplace sale during a show. How many, that is my cheerleader, Lyncho. That is the competitive cheerleader. I have 4 kids. So my oldest is 36. Zoe is about to be 16. She's going to be driving this year. Lord help me. Crystal's Vintage says, yes, if multiple items get purchased at the same time, they will bundle. I know in the marketplace, if somebody goes to the marketplace and buys multiple things, like within a certain time frame, like if they're there just purchasing it, they get bundled. I just didn't know if it marketplace bundled with show. I know Ben does. So, okay, they do. Thank you, the Bird Theory. So anything purchased within that time frame during your show is all going to get bundled together. My 3rd show hit through and I sold a couple over that fear. Well, show me. Thank you very much. I am so glad it went good for you. Congratulations. I know. Linko, how does that happen? How do our kids get to be 36 and we're still in our 20s? I think Guinness Book of World Records needs to come and like put us in there because I'm with you. This happens. So Sarah Sage, you've been having a problem with bundling. Unbundling has been very different and different compared to how it used to be. Uh, Sarah Sage, I agree. The unbundling, for me, it seems that they're not covering, like the adjustments aren't covering it as much as they used to cover. Anybody else noticing that your free adjustments, we know that there's a dollar limit to it. But last night, I did all my shipping from yesterday's show. My son was here. We did the shipping last night. And I had an adjustment come up. It was going to be a 36-cent adjustment. And I still had a couple of my free ones. I'm like, I'm going to save this box for the end. I'd rather have that adjustment cover a $2 or $3 cost, right? I went through everything else and it just wasn't covering it. I'm like, heck with this. I just let it go on that 36-cent one. But it was really weird that it wouldn't cover a $2 one. I mean, it was just odd. I feel that it's different too. I haven't taken the time to figure out why yet. For me, it almost doesn't matter because I do such a reduced shipping, and yesterday was free shipping. I was paying everything anyways. I haven't stopped to figure out why and what's going on, but I have definitely noticed a difference in it. So, marketplace is different than the bin. So we talked about this one on Monday. Your bin is what, if you go, what is it, down here and you look into my shop, and that, well, I have a few things. That's my buy it now. You'll see auction, you'll see buy it now, which is your bin. Your marketplace, if you go to my profile, click on my name and click view profile, and it brings everything up, and there is your store there, or your shop there. That's your marketplace. So you actually have 3 different places you can sell here on Whatnot. So you have a show. Your show has your auctions and your buy now, and then you also have your marketplace available whenever. Like that's a 24/7, where your shows are only when you're live. Is it something with the custom profile? Because I noticed a little disclaimer that said the seller is responsible for all adjustment costs. Possibly, but I even noticed it the first week before I switched to a custom profile. I noticed the same thing. So I don't know. If anybody knows, put it in there. Like, feel free. If at any time in my show, if I don't answer a question correctly, or if I just don't know, feel free. I am never offended that you guys are answering questions in the chat, because there's a ton of smart people in this room who know way more than I do. The bin is not 24/7. The bin, the buy it now, is only while you're live. Your marketplace is 24/7. Now, your buy it now items, they will show up in your marketplace, but you'll notice when you search something or you go to certain marketplaces, you'll see available in show. It actually tells you what show it's been assigned to. Now, you can click on it and you can buy it, but that revenue and the recording of that sale happens when that person starts the show. So it's tied to the show versus being just a marketplace order. Where do you see the adjustments or extra charges on shipping? So when you're doing your shipping, you have to confirm it. And Daisy Lane in her talk show yesterday was talking about this, and I so agree. Whatnot has made it so you have to click like 5 times if you have an adjustment. So you will know, Shiwu, if you have an adjustment, good morning, Tober. You're going to go down, you're going to hit generate label, and a little box is going to pop up and it's going to say, hey, this is going to cost you $2.90, and you have to hit yes. Then you've got to do generate label, or maybe it's like save label or something. Hit generate. Then it's going to pop up another window, and the little thing's going to spin and spin and spin and spin till you get sick and tired of it spinning and you close that window out. Then the window is going to pop up again, and it's going to say, let me finish, please. It's going to say, confirm this $2.90 again. Then you got to click again. Then you have to hit print label. It's ridiculous. It is going to ask you like 2 times to make sure that you know that you have to pay. So yeah, it drives me crazy too. It's way too many clicks to generate a label. But you will know. There's no way that you're going to get a charge without you knowing. Go ahead.
I was kind of curious, and I went tried to check. And depending on how you put your items on your show, if you're putting your item on your show, you can set it up as a auction or as a buy it now. So in your buy it now, you can pre-bid if it's for auction in show, or if you put it as a buy it now, you can actually buy it now. You can push the buy it now in your show, in your shop. So it not necessarily has to be in the marketplace, and you can buy it directly as if it was in the show without being live.
Yep. I agree, you guys. Everybody, Dragonfly, Southern Charm, it slows down the whole shipping process. It's ridiculous. That's probably, The rest of my shipping, we have a really good, efficient, boom, boom, boom process. I sell glass. It still takes a long time, but it's a process. That part of it slows us down so much. Whatnot really needs to fix it. The bird theory makes a good point. If you're new, this is really important. The bird theory says some sellers are confusing the bundle options when creating custom profiles. Absolutely. If you are using a custom profile, that does not bundle with regular Whatnot bundling. Nothing will bundle in a custom profile unless that custom profile says allowed so many items at a certain weight. It will not bundle. So this includes your giveaways. If you're doing a giveaway and you have a custom profile, they are not bundling. The only thing that bundles that within that custom profile is what the items that you have assigned to that custom profile. So keep that in mind, that if they buy item A and it's, you just put, hey, it's 2 pounds, and item B is under whatever custom profile you set up, they will not go in the same box together. That will then end up costing you and them more money, depending on if you're doing reduced shipping or not. So why is this not a whole report simple by shows, shipping paid by? Oh, it should be. Dragonfly, totally agree. We should not have to go to our shipping screen and then our ledger and have to manually add up our shipping cost. That should not happen. The only place Whatnot gives that to you in one complete area is your monthly report. But we shouldn't have to wait till the end of the month to get that information. That report should be available. That monthly report they do should be available on a weekly basis, not a monthly basis. I totally agree. I am always saying, Whatnot, hey, if you're listening, Whatnot, if you're lurking, I would love to do some contract work for you to set up your accounting on the back end. Like, I could help you. I really can. I wake up and have things purchased from my shop, or so I thought, so they are buying it from the marketplace. Is there an option to make everything marketplace? You can, Mary, you can have everything show in your marketplace by just assigning it to a show on the outside. When I say the outside is, don't put available in show only within your inventory item. When you're just looking at your inventory listing, the inventory tab, you can click on it and just assign to show. That also keeps it in your marketplace. So that's the only way to do both that I'm aware of. I am new. Well, welcome, like mother, like daughter. I use rec shipping by Whatnot. Oh, the recommended shipping. You weigh all the items before I load them and double the weight of them. But why would you double the weight? That's a lot. But do I need to adjust my box? Oh, okay. First of all, I would be wary about doubling the weight. That seems like a lot. I would put your item in a box with the appropriate packing and get an idea what your box and packing material, and only add that on. A lot of times it's not doubled. You're probably overcharging if you're doing double. And if you're doing reduced shipping, you're probably paying more than you should. Yes, you always need to adjust your box sizes. Always need to adjust your box sizes and your weights, regardless of what anybody tells you. It is in terms of service, and it is also a rule by USPS. So if you decide as a seller to not change your box sizes and not change your weights, in my opinion, that's an unethical choice as a business owner. You are deliberately choosing to ignore the rules of the platform you're on and the federal laws of the USPS. I'm going to get serious about it because I am sick and tired of people out there spreading the word that you do not need to change your box sizes. You do. And if you're not, and Whatnot charges you, well, then you asked for it. My opinion. Sorry, that one gets under my skin because, there's so many of us that have been fighting this fight about changing box sizes for so long. And it's such a simple thing. Whatnot tells you to do it. It's required. Just do it. If anybody also wants to know more about inventory, loading your inventory, how to manage inventory between bin, marketplace, auction, how to use the CSV file, Crystal's Vintage Collection. Crystal, say something. Crystal's Vintage Collection does shows, help shows on those topics right there every single week. They're called her CSV shows. Highly recommend. She'll walk you through every step of the process, and she's super patient, and she tells you in a way that you can understand it, like just very common language about it. And yeah, there she is right there, Friday at 3 p.m. So definitely, if you have any more questions or want to see it, she'll show you her computer screen. Highly recommend. At what sales dollars does Whatnot send you a 1099 at the end of the year? Angel, if you make 20,000 in sales and 200 transactions, Whatnot is required to send you a 1099. However, please note, that is not when you have to file your tax return. You are required to claim all of that income that you have earned once you hit our net $400. So that's not the threshold of when you have to report the income. That's the threshold of when Whatnot has to send you a 1099. Two different things. You may, this and that, you may get charged for box size changes. It just depends. Sometimes your adjustment will cover it. And if not, then you're going to pay for it. I recommend, and this is what I've gone to doing, I have gone to not going over the 12 by 12 by 12. Very rarely now since this change. But my last two shows, I have not used a box over the 12 by 12 by 12. My whole goal now is to not do that because the box size changes are getting too excessive since they changed the shipping. So until we get other options, I am now taking the approach of changing, not really changing my inventory, but being more cautious of the size of my inventory. We are rule followers, Lyncho. I am a rule follower to the nth degree. Diverse deals for a padded envelope, what I would do, and if anybody else has other ways they do it, please put it in there. Measure the height and the width, and then I do like 1 or 2 inches. So whatever your height and width of that envelope is, measure that, and then 1 or 2 inches for how thick it is. Sorry, on my mini 9% of my boxes are 8 by 6 by 4. That's fine. I wish it would be nice to be able to change stuff beforehand instead of afterwards. The other thing, I've been using pounds now instead of ounces. I got a new fancy scale that doesn't really do ounces very well. It's all in pounds. I wish we can change that setting so that I don't have to it's another click every single time I go to change a box size. Yeah, rules are there for a reason, except speed limits. No, they're there for a reason too. That is the one rule that I'm not so great about. If you use a smaller box, there's no discounts or money saved. Correct. You get no money back. Once Whatnot has your money, your shipping money, that's it. You're not getting it back. You get it back in the form of 5 free adjustments. So once Whatnot has that money, they give you 5 free adjustments in lieu of, like Etsy kind of has your pool of shipping money. Whatnot doesn't have that. They're nice suggestions. Yes, and it's not a tab drop down for 1-2 weeks. It was in pounds. Yes. It was in pounds. And I just want pounds. I don't want to have to check the little thing to make it pounds every single freaking shipment. I just want to be able to set it that I weigh in pounds. Right. And carbs. Oh yeah, yep. I agree. No rules when it comes to carbs either. So, what else are we going to talk about today? I have something to talk about, but I always would rather go with what you guys want to talk about. I was told there would be no math. We're not doing math. I promise, no math. Friday show. Since we're on Wednesday, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about Friday. Sorry, you guys, if it's glitchy again. I do not know what's going on with our internet. Friday show, Friday morning, 7 a.m., we are going to talk about protecting your seller reputation. And then Friday night's going to be an interesting tax talk. I know I'm geeky. I think tax talk is interesting, but we're going to talk about audit red flags. All of you who are afraid of the IRS and are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. What if they audit me? We're going to talk Friday night. What are the audit red flags? So if either one of those topics are like, I might want to hear that. Both of those shows are already booked. 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Friday is when we're going to talk about those things. Curious about the answer. What did I miss? Let me go back up and see. Show me. Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. This and that thrift. What if someone buys a bunch of stuff that doesn't fit in the 12 by 12 by 12 unbundle? This is what I do. You need to figure out, because it may look different based on where your customer's located and stuff, but I'm going to tell you what I do, and then you can kind of use that as a starting point to figure out what you do. When I have, and I get this frequently, I sell vintage. Most of my stuff doesn't fit in one box. I frequently will send 3 to 4 or 5 boxes to the same customer from one show. I will, when I see a customer's bought stuff that won't fit in one box, I open up their shipping, I go to the shipping screen, I click on them. And I just take an estimate. I'm like, okay, everything together is going to be 8 or 9 pounds. So I just pretend that I'm changing the label. I leave it at 12 by 12 by 12 and I put 8 pounds in there. And then I scroll down and I see what that's going to cost me. If it's less than $7, if it's like, oh, I can ship 8 pounds to this customer and it's only going to cost $2 or $3, I'm like, okay, good. I don't need to unbundle. I can put as much in that box as what's safe to ship in one box. If I see that it exceeds $7.75, $8, that tells me that it's going to be cheaper to separate it into 2 boxes. And if that case, then I just separate it and try to keep it under 5 pounds. What makes the difference is where the customer is located at, because that distance is going to jack up the price. So that's how I judge it when I'm doing my shipping. Good morning to Aaron Sphere. So it's cheaper to send 3 5-pound boxes than 1 15-pound box. Don't try to understand. Yeah, his and her Chicago shop, for the most times, for me, yes, it is. But like last night, I had a customer that in a 8-pound box was going to charge me like, I don't know, it was like $14 or $15. So it was cheaper for me to split it into 2 boxes, and it saved me like $2 or $3. Well, then I have another customer. If I ship to Southern Charm from here to Georgia, Southern Charms in Georgia, it's cheaper I can go 6, 7-pound box, and it doesn't cost me very much. It's only $1 or $2 extra. So it really depends on where they're at, and don't do the oversize. Make sure that you're not going over that 12 by 12. I found when I go over the 12 by 12, that just jacks the price way up. So I've just made a concentrated effort to make sure everything fits. I have no idea what I did last week. I set my shipping, that max shipping was $10. Okay, so customers paid $10 and I paid $78. I've never paid that much and still scratching my head. Rebecca, I would go and look at what were your settings for your items. What did you set for your items? Because some of that $78 could have been like excess shipping that you paid that like you were overcharged possibly. You won't get your money back. But I would look at what was the shipping settings for your items. Did you just do everything at a 4 to 7 ounce or an 8 to 11? Or were your items the actual weight of the items? That's going to make a difference when you're doing reduced. Oh, I don't like Dragonfly. I agree, because I've had Whatnot charge me for something that I know for a fact, like shipping, giveaways, that I know for a fact my setting was right because I looked at it before the show. And then they come back and charge me, and I, would go back and forth with them. I'm like, there is no way. I checked this. I know for 100% my setting was correct, and there's no way to prove it. But think about this. If you can't prove it, they can't prove it either. I have always won those cases with Whatnot. I've had 3 of them that I've disputed, and I've always got my money back on them. What if it is cheaper to switch to the flat rate, but the customer has paid $7.75 twice? What does that do to it does nothing to the customer's charges. Whatnot keeps the money, and you just use a flat rate if you want to. You're saving yourself the cost of the box, but you're not going to get the money back. Once the money is paid in shipping, it is paid, period. You will never get it back. The way you get that money back is by the 5 free adjustments. That's Whatnot's compromise. They're like, we're setting up shipping like this, where you're not going to get any money back if there's overages. In exchange, you get 5 free adjustments a week. That's how they handle shipping, versus going back and forth constantly. And they said we had max $12.99 set. We did not use $9.21. Yeah, you can't go see it. I'm totally in agreement with you. It drives me insane. And the label showed the letter setting was sticker, and it charged me for $4, but they refunded me. Yep, the bird theory. If you Dragonfly, if you go. You just have to press. It takes multiple emails, and it's usually taken me up to a week of back and forth with them. It's not easy. They're not just going to refund you. But if you press and press and press, eventually you'll get there. Is there a weight? There is a weight max, and I don't know what it is, Shiwu, off the top of my head. That information is in help.whatnot.com. I don't know if you can look that up if you want to look that up. What is the weight max, or what are the limits on the free adjustments that Whatnot gives us? Much like my children, once you give Whatnot money, you never get it back. Exactly. All of you have adult children. Do y'all go through that too? Can I borrow $20? And I have to explain to my children, my adult kids, you do know that borrowing means that you give that back at some point. I have now in my Cash App, I just have a consistent $50 sitting in Cash App because it just trades back and forth between me and my kids. One of them will call, can I borrow $20? Here's the Cash App. And I just leave it sitting there because it's going to come back eventually someday. So it's the same $50 we keep passing back and forth to each other. You borrow from your son. I never carry cash anymore. Yeah, they really don't. So, they never had, you wish it was just 20 instead of all the big ones. And you just hope, yeah. Melinda, I'm with you. There's really no expectation that it comes back. I mean, they're our kids, right? But still, they got to learn, right? I got to hold them responsible. It depends, really, with my kids, it depends what kind of mood I'm in when they call me or how often. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. Here's $20. Other times I'm like, when do you get paid? I want to see it back in this Cash App. So I've got a question for you. Kid, we have money. Me, you got him. How does a shipping sticker work? How does a shipping sticker work? I'm not almost a farm. I'm not sure what you're asking on the shipping sticker. If anybody else knows, help me figure out, or ask it in a different way. I'm not sure what you're looking for on the shipping sticker. Demands my mood. That's it. Yep. It just depends on the mood. The giveaway sticker. Oh, so if you want to do a giveaway, how does that work? Because you see people doing giveaways of stickers, right? First of all, let's talk about sticker giveaways, y'all. Well, I'm going to answer your question, Almost a Farm. How do you get to 78-cent shipping? Okay, so let's talk about giveaways, stickers. I want to know, how many people really like stickers as giveaways? How many people are like, oh, let's get in that giveaway. They're giving away a sticker. I can't wait. Sometimes, I mean, if you have kids, maybe you pass them on to the kids. Zoe likes some of the ones I get. So if you're new in here, take a look at this. I know. I'm not picking on anybody who does stickers. I want you to know this. I'm not picking on you guys that do stickers. I do postcards, and I know most of the postcards go in the trash. I get this. The point I'm going to make, just stay with me because I'm making a point here. I would, on your $4 ship show, it would save me another $1. Correct. Yes, it could save $1 on a cheap shipping show. But here's the thing. Why are you doing the giveaway to begin with? If you're doing a giveaway to keep people in your room for 5 minutes, is a sticker going to incentivize people to stay in your room? This is what I'm getting at. This is the question I'm asking. So all these people that do sticker giveaways, that's fine, but let's go to the source of why you are doing your giveaway. Most people do giveaways. Because they want people to stay in the room. But Liz, Whatnot says the giveaways have nothing to do with the algorithm. Now, I kind of disagree. I think giveaways do bring people in. Maybe not bring people in. I have a feeling, because I see shows that are doing giveaways, I think they have something with the algorithm. Totally my feeling, not like scientific, no proof of that. Whatnot said, they do not, though. At the Seller Summit, Whatnot said giveaways don't play into the algorithm.
But then if you go back last week or 2 weeks ago when they did their talk show, they were incentivized for you to do
giveaways,
follower giveaways.
Yes.
So do you have the correct information? I don't know.
They are right on their side, but giveaway watchers they do. Now that I agree with. A crowd draws a crowd. So the more people in your room who are like waiting for that giveaway, the higher your room count. And then if people scrolling are like, what do those 70 people know that I don't know? I better go get in that room and see what's going on. So yes, a crowd draws a crowd. 100% agree with that. Okay. So let's go back. No good for room count. Have a good reason. Yes. Have a good reason on why you're doing your giveaway. If it's to incentivize people to stay, stickers probably aren't doing the job. If you're doing your giveaway because what you really want to send them is a coupon and some type of marketing material, you want them to experience your business, how good you pack, whatever, like a nice presentation. Daisy Lane's wonderful at this. She has a whole little package in her giveaways, PWE giveaways, and it ships fast and you want to get something with your name on it in front of them. That's marketing. That's a different reason than just getting them to stay in your room for 5 minutes. And knowing that the stickers or whatever are probably going to go in the trash. So think about, I like her giveaways too. So think about why you're doing it, first of all, on whether you're going to do giveaways. Now, PWE, to get there, there's 3 things you need to do. In your show setting, under shippings, when you're setting up your show or when you go to edit settings on your show, make sure you have the, what's it called? First class mail turned on. It's in your show setting. It's a top toggle. Make sure that's turned on. Then when you set up your giveaway needs to be in one of the PWE categories. Stickers, playing cards. I always use stickers. It's easy to remember. So make sure it's set up as a sticker. Make sure that it actually does fit in the PWE, follows those rules. And then you make it 0 to 1 ounce. So if you have those 3 things, your show setting, you got your first class mail turned on, it's set up as a sticker, and it's 0 to 1 ounce, then you'll only be charged the 78 cents or the 82 cents, whatever it is now. Tiny Roots, I think no giveaway is better than a sticker, honestly. When I do giveaways, I only do giveaways in chat shows, and even that we have been doing less and less and less, and you'll notice we're not doing any today. Instead of giving something away, how many people benefit from a giveaway? How many people benefit from that? Just one. What if you took all the money you spend on whatever the product is you're giving away, the shipping for the giveaway, and instead offered reduced shipping? Offer a lower starting bid that everybody in the room can benefit from. Everybody in the room has the chance to take advantage of a low start or low shipping. Thank you, The Bird Theory. We're still giving away on some chat shows. We're just doing less and less. I am moving to a 0 giveaway model. It's just I have a stock of them that I will end up going through. And it's much less distracting to not do giveaways. I like that point of view because you're not stopping to recognize something else while you're talking. I'm personally not a huge fan of giveaways. That doesn't mean they're bad. Again, you need to do what you feel is right for your business, but understand the reason why you're doing it. Make it make sense. We're going to talk. I have something we're going to talk about. One of the things that I had on here, it talks about giveaways. And you do a $5 card on your Pyrex show. Yes, my love.
All right. I finally was able to track it down. It was buried a little bit, but here it goes.
All right, let's see. This is the adjustments. We're going to go backtrack just a bit here on your adjustments. What does Whatnot cover?
So it explains to you everything you need to know about your adjustments.
We want to see the dollar amounts. Do they have a dollar amount?
I don't think they have a dollar amount, but
slow down. You're going too fast for me to read.
So
right there, free shipping adjustments.
When you go to seller in the US, when you first load, it's going to be like that. It's going to have 2 plus signs, sellers in the US and sellers outside. You click the plus sign and it'll expand and it'll tell you that they update every Sunday, 7 p.m. And here are the covered adjustments.
Right there. So there's a lot of reading right there. But now you know where to do it. Covered by your 5 free adjustments. It actually tells you exactly what changes are covered.
And it says unbundling shipments where the cost of the separate labels exceed the original label by 5 or less.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for finding it. Help.whatnot.com is your best friend. And Scuba Stevio is leaving if there are no giveaways. Everybody know that. Make sure when you see Scuba Stevio come in your room, you run a giveaway right away. Just saying. Tiny Roots.
I thought you were going to say if you see Scuba Stevio come in your room, you run the other way.
Liz makes a really good point. The information we just looked at is changed frequently. Don't read it once and forget it. Go back to it. Every time they change shipping, go back and read that to make sure you're staying up to date on that. I want to cover this question here. Tiny Root says, love the idea, maybe a giveaway only for a raid. I would still challenge that. Again, only one person's winning that, and it depends what you're giving away. If somebody raids you with 50 people, how many of those 50 are going to actually stay for the full 5 minutes? You have this much time to capture their attention. Just telling them you're running a sticker giveaway, is it really going to make people stay for that full 5 minutes till that giveaway pulls? What is it really that you're giving away? And then that starts to get expensive, right? Maybe if you do a $5, $10 gift card, maybe they're going to stay for the 5 minutes at a chance at that. What's better than a giveaway when you get a raid? Y'all know, you guys know what I'm going to say here.
Hold my page. Using AI to remove shadows, I would say, why don't you just try to take the picture with the best lighting possible from the get-go? I mean, using AI just to polish an image, I think it's just a waste of resources when you can actually do a better job yourself by taking the photo that you actually like and want. Now, if you're not very good as a photographer, I am not, you can play around and learn a little bit and try to come up with a couple of tricks, diffuse the light, change the color of the light, see if that would help enhance your picture taking and the result that you obtain.
Okay, everybody said it. Dollar start. When you get a raid, have an item that you can run for $1. It does. I would suggest something of good value. It's a win-win. You have a chance of making money. Everybody who just came in for that raid gets to experience you as a seller, gets a chance at a good item, and maybe we'll hook them right away, at least for that auction. And they're like, oh, that was cool. What are they going to run next? Way better option than a giveaway that only one person is going to win, and probably not a lot of people are going to stay for. Absolute, highly recommend. It is also a good way to test out dollar or extremely low starts in a comfortable manner where it's not the whole show. It's here or there. Somebody else said here, when the giveaways work for new people because we are able to follow you.
You're welcome, Tiny Roots. And we're happy to do so. And also, Daisy, we met this lady. She has an antique little barn that is amazing. And what she does is she takes pictures at dusk or dawn when the twilight is happening. That's the best lighting for pictures, if you take them outside, obviously. So she waits for that time, and she has a specific location, and the pictures come out amazing. She's really good on capturing the light like that.
Okay, y'all, I'm just going to say I do disagree with my husband. Surprise, surprise. A husband and a wife, we disagree with each other. I have nothing against using AI to touch up your photos, to remove shadows, because it's fast and it's easy. And I'm more about, let's get it done. My husband's more about, let's take our time. We can do it this way.
No, let me tell you, it's AI. You know how AI is done? AI is done by different companies utilizing a lot of computers to be able to process your request. And that request takes a lot of energy. If you're wasting that energy on just retouching your photos, that's the waste of resources. And there's a lot of people complaining about what the AI farms are doing. So I would urge you to be cautious how you use AI, because yes, it helps. It's great. It's a great tool. But at the same time, if you're used to just to do the quick turnaround like that, it's just becoming lazy and it's not conducive to anything good.
Whoa, mister, calm your horses. I still use AI, y'all. I still use it. Okay. Southern Charm does make a good point, though. If you have something for sale and it's completely AI background, you do wonder, hey, what's going on? So careful to how much manipulation you do. Like, never change the item itself. I totally agree. Don't change the actual item. If it has a crack, chip, all that stuff, make sure that's showing.
And this is why I'm the wizard, and this is not AI. Watch this.
He woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Okay, thank you, my love. Are you going to bring me back?
I don't know. You want her back?
I'm over here. I've got to poke him. I'm over here poking him. He's driving me insane. Yeah, AI is fine as long as I'm staying focused. I mean, we could probably talk all day about the ethical responsibilities of AI. Let's face it, AI is here. It's not going away. People are using it. And we all, just like we have to decide if we're ethical business owners and what we ship, how we sell, same thing comes to AI. We all need to decide where we're at, and you do you and I do me, and he can do him. AI has changed your, imagine that. Imagine that. Y'all, I've heard Scuba Stevie-O. He talks like a Texan. He talks like he's from Texas, like he's down south. He has the biggest Southern drawl you ever heard in real life. That whole English thing. Psh.
Good morning, treasures.
So, okay, I know I missed some questions up here. Let's see if we can go back. Oh, what I was trying to answer. I see that. What I was trying to answer before my husband jumped in on AI stuff is, if you're doing giveaways just to get followers, are they following it for you and for the way you sell and because they like you and they like your products? Or are they following because they want something for free? Do you want organic followers that are following you because you want them to come back and buy? Or do you want followers just to be like, oh, I can go get free stuff from them every now and then? I don't necessarily believe that using giveaways to get followers is helpful in the long run. Now, is that the default setting and everybody does it because we're all too lazy to change it? Yeah. But that shouldn't be a reason to do the giveaway. Okay, let me go up and see what I missed. I saw a bunch of questions up here. AI, okay, we learned how AI has changed Scuba Stevie-O's accent. I formally invite you guys to vacation at my house for 3 days and help me get my life together. The birthday. I would love to do that. That would be nice. I work in IT and I'm building an AI model for the medical record system right now. See, it's not going away. Like, we just have to figure out the best way to use it and what's the smart way to use it and what that means to you. First time buyers, it's convert. Absolutely. Aaron Sear makes a point about coupons. Most underutilized tool on Whatnot, coupons. They work. They bring people in. They bring people back. People like coupons. I am like a self-appointed coupon queen. I think I use coupons in just about every single show. I use them in my rewards. Almost all of my marketing centers around coupons. If you haven't tried it, try it. You can be so creative. There's so many things you can do with coupons. And at the end of the day, here's the thing with coupons. The bird theory. So, yeah, and you can use coupon codes for giveaways if you have something else and you can't advertise the coupon code. So as long as you're doing, hey, you're getting this postcard, you're getting this whatever, and you put your coupon in there, no problem. You just can't advertise it that it's a coupon giveaway. How do you use a coupon code again? So as a buyer, when somebody gives you the code, you just type it down into your wallet, and then it's applied automatically to your next purchase. As a seller, you go into your seller hub. It's under marketing. Marketing is a little drop down. One of those drop down choices is coupons. You open it up. It says create coupon. Super self-explanatory. There's like 5 things to fill out. Super easy to fill out. But with coupons, it is an automatic. Somebody gets a coupon. Is anybody going to be like, oh, you just gave me a coupon. Oh, you put a coupon in my envelope. Oh, you put a coupon in my box. No, they get a coupon. They're like, oh, I got a discount if I buy again. I get to save some money. There is very rarely a bad association with somebody having the chance to get a discount. Very rarely is there a bad association. So automatically, it's a good thing for the buyer. Then for you as a seller, the people who then actually utilize those coupons are very far and few between. I give out thousands of dollars of coupons a year. And when I say thousands, my reward system alone, if you collected all of the rewards cards, those are them right there. Those aren't the ones for today. Those are just a sample of them. If you collect all of the rewards cards, you can save up to like 15, I calculated it one day, a little over $1,500 in free stuff in my shows if you collect all those cards and actually utilize all those coupons. Do you know how many people actually utilize my coupons? I send out 900 cards a quarter. I'm on quarter 3. Less than 2% of the cards that go out utilize those coupons. Less than 2%. It cost me minimal amount to put that much goodwill out there for the people buying. It's one of the best ways. It's just one of those tools that should just be a standard in what you're doing to some sort. Look at their Southern Charm. She has all the cards I've ever put out. So does a Monster Mama. Monster Mama uses them. She's smart. She uses them, and I love it. You know why? Somebody comes and buys something from you, and they use a coupon. They get $5 off. Let's think about this as a seller. If they have a $5 off coupon, and they say, "Oh, I like that item. I'm willing to spend $15 on that item." What does that mean? They may bid up to $20 because they can save $5 and they're willing to pay $15. What if somebody else wants that item too? Now your coupon person is bidding up because they're going to save money because they got a coupon. The person who doesn't have a coupon is over there because they really want it and is getting bid up. Ultimately, you win as a seller by getting a higher price on an item. It's a win-win all the way around. There is very little instances and circumstances that coupons have some type of negative emotion or reaction to them. You bought $100 vase because you saved $5. I can live with that. There you go. Yep, exactly. And if you were to do just one coupon and put it out there in the world and measure it, monitor it, because you shouldn't just do it. You should always monitor what you're doing. Make sure there's some return on it. You would be surprised at the percent of the small percent of people actually using that coupon or how much money it's costing you. And at the end of the day, they can't use a coupon if they're not spending money with you. They have to shop, they have to bid, they have to create activity in your room in order to use that coupon. What is the algorithm like? Activity. It's a win-win all the way around. Thank you. The Enchanted Lily, thank you for getting me off coupons. Unrelated to coupons, but how do you set up your shipping when doing max shipping for $7 something? I'm going to refer you to go see I Love Discount shipping show every Monday night. But if you're talking about like where do you put that max in, it is in your show settings under shipping. When you set up your show, you can say for that show, I want to be buyer pays all, reduced shipping, which then you get to pick what that reduced is, or max, same thing, or free shipping. So you set it up when you do it. Now, if you're asking about the actual settings, go talk to I Love Discounts. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. There's just so many ways to do it. There they are right there, 7 o'clock on Monday night. You tried QR codes and it didn't work as well as I hoped. You know why I don't think QR codes work as well? It's another action. Like they've got to get their phone out and take a picture. I feel QR codes is it's too many clicks. And I know coupons, they still have to type it in. Coupons you send are less effective, even though I do it frequently because you still get that goodwill, are less effective than coupons in your show notes that they can actually click on and they automatically are copied into their wallet. It's easier to copy and paste than it is to get something physically and then have to do something. Hold on, let me keep reading. Oh, you have a show tonight and you're going to do max shipping for the first time. Okay, so are you talking about, what do you sell? The Enchanted Lily, what do you sell? And while you're putting that in, I'm going to answer one of these other questions. How do we create a coupon to send to a specific people? You create all coupons the exact same way. Go to your Seller Hub, marketing, coupons, and it's a create a coupon button. Now, when you create it, you can set it up for a show or all future shows or pick what shows you want it to apply to. Then you can just send that code through DM, or if it's somebody you know, text them, but you can't make it just for one person. So if you want a code to go just to one person, you can just share it with that person, but it doesn't limit it to them. They can share it with whoever they want to share it with. So there's no way to say that only Sally can use this. It's just up to you to only give it to Sally. To determine shipping on Whatnot, to go discount show and buy an Abacus. To determine shipping on what, yeah, go to the discount show and buy an Abacus. There you go. That's it. That's your best way to figure out shipping. QR codes are difficult since most people write. They do. And I learned that, Coach, when I first was doing Whatnot, I had the brilliant idea that I was going to put a coupon code behind me. And so people can scan it, not realizing, duh, Tracy, everybody's watching it on their phone. Um, the polish bigger. Thank you, Brandy.
Polish picker. Also, if you want to take notes, you can rewatch easy.
Yep, you can always rewatch almost all of our shows. Our workshops are not put on YouTube. Can you message them a coupon code and still send a sticker because you have to mail something? Yes, you can. Keep in mind, you guys, coupons with giveaways. Let's just touch on this because this is a terms of service thing. You and people, I still see people doing this. You are not allowed to say your giveaway is a 10%, whatever percent coupon for my next show. That is against terms of service. You have to give them, my giveaway is a sticker, my giveaway is a postcard. And then when you send that sticker or postcard, put your code in there. Make a little business card, make a postcard, whatever, write them a note. You can't do a giveaway for a future benefit. Giveaways have to be for the show. Now, the way around that, the way to get where if you want them to use that coupon for your show is what I Love Discounts does with Chubby Bucks. They say, hey, we are doing Chubby Bucks. If you win this giveaway, you're going to get a certain dollar amount to spend tonight in the show. And as soon as that person wins, they get a DM with that code, good for that show, where they can physically spend that money in that show. That takes two people. If you're a solo person and you're running a show, are you going to stop and tell everybody to wait, quit selling, to go DM somebody? Probably not. So think that through before you do that, to make sure you have somebody in the background who can DM that code immediately.
Hasten Hertz, Shop Chicago. More wizardry for you. That was a nice comment.
I'm still on green stamps. Yeah, and coupons are great to give to your mods. Give them discounts. Definitely reward your mods as much as you can. How do you set up a pop-up show? How do you just sell and not have everything in your shop? So Gina, pop-up show is basically what it sounds like. It's a Tuesday afternoon and I feel like selling some stuff, so I'm just going to create a show and go live. That's a pop-up show. You create it just like any other show. How do you sell stuff and not have anything in your shop? Those are random listings. You can see mine. I will pin my random listing really quickly here. You just create one listing at one weight and you run everything at that weight. You can create multiple random listings at different weight if you want to be more exact. I use one weight because I find that easy. I would not recommend that if you are brand new. I do not recommend that at all until you understand shipping. But you just create a listing, a random listing. Now, when you do random, you have to be able to keep track of your items on the back end. Have a system in place. When you sell something to somebody, are you going to write it on painter's tape and stick it on there? Do you have a label system that you're using? You have to have a way to keep track of what you are selling on the back end. So it's a little more organization, a little more thinking through it before you actually do it. You can create a listing when you're live. Just right now, I'm looking at my computer. There's a little add button. I can create one on the fly. Do you want to? I want to ask you this. There are times when you have to. I ran out of listings and had to do it the other day because I didn't plan ahead. But on a regular basis, do you want to create listings when you're live? What's your goal when you're live? Is to keep selling, keep it moving. If you're constantly creating listings, then you're like, okay, everybody, hold on. Let me do my listing.
Ashley, and also, are you running on one device or two devices? Because if you're running on one device and you're creating a list, what you're doing is basically getting, not necessarily out of your show, but the screens that are gonna pop in your phone or your tablet are gonna block all the chat completely, and then you're gonna be pounding the screen and moving completely your camera and shaking everybody.
Yeah, and what Liz says, if you can't create a listing crazy fast, and I can't, I am not a fast person like that, you're gonna lose people. I will not sit there while you're creating listings. I'm like, you should have planned ahead. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I will not do it. If it's a one-off, you made a mistake, I'm forgiving in that sense, but I cannot sit through a show where everybody's like, let me create a listing, let me create a listing. It's too much. Yeah, and that's it. If it's on your phone too, you don't want to be shook. Somebody was saying, I'm a one-woman show, I want to use coupons. I want to make it clear. You can still use coupons. What I was talking about, I Love Discounts and Chubby Bucks, that is the only acceptable by terms of service way that you can use a coupon as a giveaway immediately in a show. There is no other way that you can use a coupon as a giveaway. It's just not allowed. So if it's just you, there's a million creative ways you can use coupons. Your top buyers, you can go to your analytics, see your top buyers, send them a DM. Thank you so much for buying with me this month. Here's a coupon code to come back. I appreciate you. You can put it in your show notes. You can put rewards cards like my husband showed, our cards. You can make up little business cards that say, thank you for shopping with me with the coupon code on the back and put them in people's boxes. These things, I get how many? We get 9 times 9. What's that? We get a bunch of these for $90 a quarter. They're super inexpensive on Canva. Probably 900 a quarter. We get about 900 a quarter for $90. Super, super cheap. I'm sure there's even ways that you can get them cheaper than that. That's just easy for us. So we buy ours on Canva just because that's where we design them and it's easy. If you want to save even more money, I'm sure you can shop around and probably find it cheaper than that too.
You can go to Canva.
Thank you, Aaron.
And in Canva directly, you can order the prints directly from Canva.
Okay, the Enchanted Lily. You sell vintage variety and you're trying to set up your reduced shipping. What I would suggest, think this through though. Make sure you think it through and go read help.com and make a good decision for your business. This is just what I do. I sell vintage decor too. So I'm going to tell you how I set mine up. I have one random listing and I set up, or if you're pre-listing, pick a low weight, 4 to 7 ounces. If you do like 4 to 7 ounces, what's going to happen is every time somebody swipes, they're going to immediately, the first swipe, get charged like $4.60 something. If your shipping is set to 7, that means their second swipe is going to be that difference up to $7, and then they'll see free after that. And you'll start to incur the charges after up to the $7. Up to $7 they'll pay, and then the 75 cents you'll pay. Okay, so you're going to cap your shipping cost on the front end by using a one low weight. Then on the back end, when you're doing your shipping and you change your box sizes and your weight, you're going to have a lot of adjustments at that point where you're paying your shipping. $2, $3, $4 adjustments for every single box you send out. Because what that's doing by using one low weight on the front end on your items, you're reducing what you're paying during the show, but you're making up for it and you will pay it when you do your adjustments. That's how I do mine. That does not mean that it's going to be right for everybody else, but that is one way to do it. There are many different ways to set up your shipping. I highly suggest you guys, I'm talking about a way that I've done after being on this app for 3 years. If you are brand new, first of all, don't do reduced shipping until you understand full shipping. Do buyer pays all for your first few shows. Understand the system, how it works, how the shipping is calculated. Look at your data, look at how much people are paying, make an educated business decision on what you want to do for reduced shipping. And then when you do it for a show, go back and look at the shipping charges and see if it works, see if it's costing you too much, and go from there.
Tiny. So we produce 9 cards per quarter. 9. And for each one of those 9, we order 100 per card.
Yeah.
So each card has a different code. So there's 9 codes per quarter. Now on top of that, what she does is on her big selling shows, she bundles those codes. So you can pick a card from quarter 1, a card from quarter 2,
Good morning, Abandoned Treasures,
and a card from quarter 3. And if you put those codes together, you can create another code with a bigger discount. That's how she does it.
Mm-hmm. So every code can only be used one time. So when you get a card, this is worth $2. The code on this card is worth $2. Well, on the back of this card, it says, this is card number 27. It says, save this card and combine it with cards number 25 and 26. You put those 3 codes together and you get $6 off. So you get one card, $2, get number 25 and 26. Now you get $6. You combine those together. Then every single show, like he was saying, that my selling shows, in the show notes, I will randomly pick 3 numbers. It could be any 3 numbers. And I'll say, put those 3 numbers together and save $5, $8, $10. So the more cards you collect, the more you spend, the more cards you get, the more chance you have at saving money. That's my reward system. That's what I created instead of using Whatnot's reward system. And it works really well. I have some people, a Monster Mama uses them all the time, saves a ton of money, gets free stuff. When things are going for just a couple of bucks or $5, she can get a free item. But she's also buying other things too. Yep, no spaces, you just put them all together. And in my selling shows, you can come stop in on Saturday and read the show notes and you'll see. I put it right in my show notes. Rewards, cards, whatever the numbers are, put them all in order. And that way, one code can be used multiple times because it's being combined with other numbers to create new codes. You can do, I don't know what the limit is. I think it's like 14 or 16 digits or spaces. I'm not sure the exact number. I don't want to use Whatnot rewards anymore. It costs me a lot. You've got to think it through. Use it smartly. Sometimes when people say that it costs too much, it's because they put too much discount at the very top and made it too easy to obtain. Or they gave too high of discounts. I would like to ask if you use cost of goods sold or cash basis for deductions for taxes. We have an S Corp with other entities under it. We're filing for 25. If you have an S Corp, then you really need to be doing GAAP accounting, and that is cost of goods sold. I would not use cash basis. That is a very surface level answer based on 2 sentences of information. There may be other specifics unique to your situation where your accountant or your CPA may recommend cash, but just going off generally with that much information, you would want cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is GAAP accounting, which is generally accepted accounting principles. That is true accounting. Cash is not accepted for audited financial statements, not accepted for loans, for banks, or anything like that. Cash is just used for small businesses to make it easy. It's not an accepted accounting method. The Enchanted Lily, you definitely would sell more if you use reduced shipping. I'm just saying, there are people who are going to tell you no. The people will pay full price if they want it. They will. And with few exceptions, there are some people that are having very good sales with that. Most of the time, though, your sell-through rate and your inventory turnover is going to be a lot lower if you're not offering reduced shipping. It doesn't mean you're never going to make sales. That's not the case. You're probably not going to make as much. I have one person in mind that's the exception to that, but there's other unique circumstances on why I think the person's achieving the success without reduced.
The bird theory, you can kind of work around it. I would create a spreadsheet with all my coupon codes and then set up an alarm in my phone when I want to have one expire. And then once that's done, I'll just go and deactivate the code from the page, and that way the code is deactivated and that's it.
Yep. I put an expiration date on mine. I kind of have mine to expire quarterly. I give people 6 to 9 months to do it. Basically, the way I feel, even if you don't put an expiration date on there, if somebody hasn't used a coupon code in 6 to 9 months, they're not going to. And if by chance somebody tried to use a coupon code and they're like, hey, it's not working, and you realize it's one from 6 months ago, you can go back and reactivate it. And you can be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I deactivated that because I didn't see anybody using it. Let me give you a new one. Like, it's going to be so rare that you're going to come across that. I would just have a set date in your mind. Like, okay, every 3 months, I'm just going to go through and deactivate old stuff. And it just makes it easy. So you don't have to like really track a lot. Cost of goods is so difficult for thousands of items purchased in vintage category. Our business has significantly increased this year. Our CPA doesn't give much info. Macintosh. Is that Macintosh? Okay. You don't have to do it item by item. You guys, you do not have to keep your inventory item by item. Look, I'm a CPA and I'm telling you, you do not have to have an Excel sheet with thousands and thousands of items. I've recently migrated my system to more of a very more advanced average cost basis, but let me tell you the easy way to do it. Yeah, let me tell you the easy way. It could be by box, by lot, by average. Okay, yesterday I bought 20 something pieces of glass. I paid one price. That one price goes into my accounting records, into my inventory log. I put the one price that I paid. I track the number of items I have. So I'm going to tell you the way I was doing it, because I think it's a really simple way for many people on Whatnot. So when I go and buy, let's say I buy a box of stuff at an auction and there's 50 things in this box and I pay $100. That's $2 an item, okay? I'm not going to sit and list every single item out. I wouldn't have enough time in the world to do that on all the inventory. Instead, in my accounting records, I put $100 paid into inventory. So I reduce my bank account, I increase my inventory. Simple on my accounting records. In my inventory log, you are tracking what comes in and what goes out. There's nowhere that says it has to be by item. So you know what happens in my inventory log? I got $100 of inventory that came in. Okay. Then I know I have 50 pieces. I pay $2 a piece. I have different color stickers that correlate to different dollar amounts. When I'm pulling those pieces out of the box, I slap one of those stickers on there and set it on my shelf. And then I forget about it. My inventory log says 100 pieces, or $100. It doesn't list it out. When I go to sell stuff, I do a show. I sold all this stuff. Guess what happens? I have to look at every item to pack it, right? There's a color sticker on the bottom of those items that correlates to a dollar amount. I can jot it down. I can pull the sticker off and stick it on a piece of paper. What does that do? That tells me my cost of goods sold. Now I quickly have, oh, this one was $2. This was $3. This was $1. And I can quickly add up my cost of goods sold, so I know what my cost was for that show. That's what I record in my accounting records. Good morning, Kat Daniels. My husband wants to assign a dollar amount to each item. Why? Why? Do you care? Do you care if you are making money on every single individual item? When you are selling hundreds of items in a show, or even 80, 50 items, is it vital to you to make money, to know the profit on each individual item? I don't look at each individual item. I look at the average.
Imagine if you were selling Scrabble tiles and you were to assign a cost per single Scrabble tile and you had to inventory every single one of them. Or jewelry, earrings, rings, necklaces.
And it's not even buying in lots. I use lot as an example because a lot of us go to auctions and buy in lots. You can go to an antique store and that's a lot. Even if you go to the antique store and pick up individual items and you take them up to the register and they ring you up, it's a lot. That's how I record things. That's all you have to do. It keeps your record simple. It should not take you any more than about 15 minutes a week to do your bookkeeping. And that includes inventory tracking. Good morning. What if your inventory is over 10 to 15 years ago, you bought it? I have 2 barns with this inventory. So Sauk Valley Treasures. What you need to do is that's your starting inventory. If you're just getting into selling, if you have receipts, great. I doubt it from 10 to 15 years ago. That's probably not a realistic expectation that you would have receipts. So you have to put a value on that to bring into your inventory. The value needs to be conservative. If you cannot back up what you paid, if you cannot reasonably say and explain to the IRS, if you were ever to be audited, how much that cost, then you need to use thrift store value. So whatever the item is, if it's a picture and you can go to Goodwill and buy it for $3, that's going to be your starting inventory in lieu of having receipts and actually knowing what you paid. Now, having receipts and knowing what you paid is obviously the best choice because it's not going to be as low as thrift store. But if you can't do that, the next best thing is to use a thrift store value as your cost basis for those items that are so old. It's the same. It's still the same. That's what you mean by cash then. Macintosh, I'm not sure what, I got lost with that comment. Explain that again. That's what you mean by cash. By doing things like when you go to an antique store and buy individual items and it's still a lot. If that's what you're referring to. Could you do a show on how inventory on a simple lot, a simple bookkeeping show? The Enchanted Lily. Actually, I just did a show like that. We spent a lot of time. Let me show you here. If you guys are just starting out, even if you've been in business a little bit, I have been in the middle. We are about to do week 4 of this setting up your reselling business workshop. I've been doing this on Whatnot Monday nights at 7. This coming up Monday is week 4. We are selling it here in this listing. If you buy this, you get all 4 videos. So the complete Whatnot shows. This past Monday, we went for 3 hours answering questions, talking about concepts. We start with the very beginning, getting your bank account, getting an EIN, how to set up your records. We talk deep about taxes and accounting. Last night, we talked deep about your first show from beginning to end, what you need to do before your show, during your show, in the first 24 hours after your show. And then this Monday, we're talking about shows 2 and beyond, and we're going to dive into analytics. But in week 2, we talked about inventory. So that is a really good one. In addition to the videos, you get a bunch of checklists, supplemental materials, participant guides to help understand everything. I bought 2 storage units full of beads and jewelry making supplies, thousands of pieces. Think Michael's jewelry. Okay. How would you figure cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is whatever you paid for those storage units. Simple. Whatever you paid for those storage units, that's your cost of goods sold. And then what you do, honestly, if they are in boxes, I would do this. If you're selling out of the storage unit, okay, even if not, take everything you bought from the storage unit and it's all together. And let's just say you paid $1,000 in total. That's your cost of goods sold. That's your inventory. Let me finish. You're interrupting me. I will. The Monday show is not available on YouTube because it is a course. So the workshops I do, you can come to Whatnot, be there on Whatnot for free, ask questions. I stay as long as I can to answer, but then after that, it is a paid course. It is one of the ways that I monetize all the education shows that I do. So let's just say that you bought those 2 storage units was $1,000. That's your inventory cost. When you go to sell a show, you're going to look at this inventory. You're going to say, I think I sold about 1/8 of it. I'm estimating I sold 1/8. Guess what? 1/8 becomes your cost of goods sold. You're going to do reasonable estimates. It is no different. I want you to think a smaller scale, and then you just expand this in your head. If I buy a box of jewelry that I pay $500 for, I take this box, I go and do a show. At the end of the show, I look at the box, and I've sold about half of that box. If I paid $500 for that, that's my inventory. If I sold about half, my cost of goods is $250 because it's half the box. Then I do the second show. I sell the rest of that. The second show, my cost of goods is $250. Now, are you going to be exact to the penny? No, but you're not going to sit there and count piece by piece by piece, or you're not going to count 2 storage full of beads. You're going to say, okay, $1,000 for these 2 storage units, and you're going to estimate how much you sell per show and record that as your cost of goods. That is good enough. That is sufficient for your accounting records. You don't have to get more detailed than that. The only way to get more detailed, especially with large quantities, is to go invest into a really expensive inventory management system that really probably you don't need. So why spend the money on something like that when you have a way where you can do it reasonably that's accepted by the IRS and is going to be good enough for your bookkeeping and your decisions as a business owner? Does that make sense? That was a whole lot. I just kind of spewed a whole lot of information there. No, it's okay. Keep it simple. That is it. Good morning. Good morning, Auntie. I totally totally agree. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Do it to keep it simple. You want fast, efficient. If this is if it's confusing, if it's going to take you 1,000,000 hours to do it, you're not going to do it, and it defeats the whole purpose. So find the easiest way to be as accurate as you can. That's all that matters. I would rather be off a couple of bucks in my estimating how much inventory I used than not have it at all. Do accounting records need to report just cost of goods or total amount spent for the year? Your accounting records are 3 things. Let's talk about keep it simple. Your accounting records are 3 things. Revenue record, all the income. So you're keeping some sort of log of revenue. You're keeping a log of expenses. You're going to keep a log of all your expenses, and you're going to keep an inventory log. 3 logs. That is all you need. That is the basis. Now, you can get far more fancy. We can do reporting. We can do analytics. There's a lot more you can do with it. But as a basic, at a bare minimum, you need to be recording every single dime you make, every single dime you spend, and your inventory. That's it. Do your reselling business course. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Sue. If you most likely buy garage sales and stuff, keep a cash log. Keep a little book with you, or use the notes in your phone, and you write down the date you bought it. Put garage sale, how much you spent. If you want to put a little description, you can. If you want to put east side of town, maybe to help you remember your mileage. But date you bought, a short, brief description, garage sale clothing, and the dollar amount. That's all you need. No receipts. And so, Angel, that was the answer right there. If there's no receipts for like garage sales, estate sales, you keep a log. Keep your own log as you go. Don't make it up at the end of the year. Keep it contemporaneously, as the IRS puts it. The workshop is just 4 weeks, and this Monday is the last night for this one, for the reselling business workshop. If you purchase this, you get access to all 4 videos forever. It's not a 60-day whatnot thing. This is an actual course I do. So you'll get the videos, participant guides, supplemental material. So it is just like you went to the whatnot show and you get everything. You just don't get to ask questions because it's recorded. I was under the understanding that was essentially a cash basis. That's what we're going to do. I thought cost of goods was itemized. No, cost of goods is an accounting concept. Okay, so we're going back to that question. This is great. This is a really good question because this is something a lot of people, it's an accounting term. So a lot of people, it's just not their background, right? Yes, my love, thank you. If you purchase it, I will send you a link that has access to everything. So if you purchase it, you send me your email and you will get a link that has everything on there. It's all organized by week. So all of the materials and the video and participant guide week by week, you get one link, you get everything. Okay, so that a cash business, so you were understanding that cost of goods was itemizing of everything. No, cost of goods is an accounting term that stands for cost of goods sold. You have assets. Assets are the things you own, okay? So in accounting, you have assets, everything you own. You have liabilities, everything you owe to somebody else. And then you have income and expenses, okay? We know income and expense. That's easy for us. We know about getting money and spending money. Assets, what you own. Your bank account, you own your bank account, right? That's your money. Inventory is an asset. Inventory is something you own. So basically, when you buy stuff to sell, you take cash, you give it to somebody, and you replace it with inventory. 2 things you own. You're just trading cash for something you're going to sell. Okay? It's not an expense. It's just something you own. Then you sell it. You do a show, you sell that inventory. Then it becomes cost of goods sold. That's exactly COGS. That's the cost of the goods I just sold. Now it's an expense. Now the amount that you paid for it that's sitting in your inventory comes down and becomes an expense. It has nothing to do with cash basis. It has nothing to do, kind of has to do with accrual, but we're not going to go there. It's an accounting term, and it's the proper way to account for what you're selling. Someone said you can't deduct anything for your shop until you have an LLC. What is the best way to go about that? The Enchanted Lily, the best way to go about that is to ignore the person who said that. I know that's a little rude. I'm sorry. It gets under my skin. People who know me, they really do know that this is my hot ticket button right here. This is another hill I will die on. The minute you go into business, you are what's considered a sole proprietor. You are in business as a sole proprietor. You do not need to incorporate as an LLC. Let me explain. As a sole proprietor, yes, buy earplugs. Swipe out of their show. That's what you need to do. As a sole proprietor, you file what's called a Schedule C. That is just another form that's attached to your 1040 personal tax return. Okay? That is all you need. Now, you're doing business, you're a sole proprietor. There are circumstances, there are times when then you might want to create an LLC. It's not that LLCs are bad, but an LLC is a separate legal entity. It is not something you just want to jump and rush into because somebody on Whatnot said to create an LLC. There are certain times when you want to create one that maybe you have employees, you have a lot of assets, there's liability issues, you're a high litigated type of business. Certain things that you want to have partners or expand in the future. There are legitimate reasons. So start as a sole proprietor, Then you get a CPA, a lawyer, financial advisor, and you meet with them and you're like, hey, here's my circumstances. Here's where I've been. Here's where I'm going. What do you recommend? If they recommend an LLC then becomes a separate legal entity. But as a single person, as you, just you being an LLC, guess what tax form you file? The exact same one that you filed when you were a sole proprietor. There is zero difference tax-wise from a sole proprietor to an LLC. Okay. Now there's other benefits. There's other things with an LLC when it's smart, if it becomes a smart decision for your business, but you don't need to rush into it. Okay, so cost of goods, I don't think that means what you think that means. Inconceivable. Inconceivable. All right. It's in her Chicago shop. Are taxes part of your course? So the Enchanted Lily, we talked taxes in week 2. We talked a lot about what's deductible. There's some supplemental materials giving list of deductible taxes. I do a tax show every Friday night at 7 p.m., purely tax topics, and I answer any tax question that comes my way that I can. If I can answer it, if I don't, I tell you I don't know. But I will be rolling out in November. We are doing another workshop kind of like this on taxes in November for 4 weeks on Monday nights. It's already, if you go to my shows, you can bookmark them. They're already set up. And it is going to be getting ready for tax season. And I will be walking through a Schedule C. I'm going to be talking about everything you need to do in November to be prepared for taxes in January, February. So while we covered it as part of a topic in the course below, in November, I will have a specific workshop free on Whatnot. There'll be paid additional material if you so desire to buy additional material, but you can come for free on Whatnot in November every Monday night and hear the ins and outs of all the details of taxes. Yes, please do. BMK, please do. Just message me or email. Mary, is an S Corp better than an LLC? It's not that it's better. It's what's the smartest decision for your business. So an S Corp isn't a separate legal entity. When you hear that term S Corp, what that means, it is an S election. An S Corp is just an election you make with the IRS to be taxed in a pass-through method, to be taxed in a different way. It usually doesn't become beneficial. This is a general rule of thumb. Keep in mind, any tax advice is really taxes are based on everybody's unique facts and circumstances. So when we were talking about S Corps, in general, they do not become beneficial to make that election until you're making a net profit of 50 to 60, 70,000 in that ballpark. Any profit less than that, net profit less than that, you're spending more on the administration of that S Corp than you are in the benefits that you would receive. So the normal progression for people is we start as a sole proprietor. Sometimes then it becomes smart to be an LLC. And as a business continues to grow and we can start taking payroll and we're seeing those profits, we may then choose an S election because financially that is a smarter move for just finances and tax-wise. My total inventory has many different costs. I don't know when selling an item if it costs 1 or 3. Do I just use, you can just use the average. You just use the average. Yep. So like I said, if I buy things for, 100, so, well, I say just use the average. If I'm using the jewelry box example where I have $500 worth of jewelry in a box, I'm not counting through every piece. I'm going to look and say, oh, I sold half the box. My cost of goods was $250, right? In the example I gave earlier as a vintage decor, when stuff comes into my business, let's say I spent $100, I got 50 pieces, that's $2 a piece. I'm putting stickers on it as I'm putting it away on my shelf. I have different color stickers for different dollar amounts. So then when I sell it, I can easily see, oh, this piece was $2, this piece was $3, this piece was whatever. Write it down, add that up, and that's my cost of goods for that show. Because as a vintage decor seller, I'm typically not buying a lot and selling that lot all in one show. When I buy multiple pieces, it's spread over many shows. So I had to come up with a way to know what my cost of goods was, because it's not easy to say, oh, I just sold half this box for the items I sell. So as you can see, those two different examples, you have to step back and say, what am I buying? And then how do I sell it? And what's the best way to track it at that point? It may look different just depending on your business process, what you're selling, how often you sell. I don't current with entering costs and whatnot, but I can't find it. Okay, Dragonfly, what are you saying? Hold on. What is this? I know that's probably a typo. With entering cost and whatnot, but I can't find it anywhere. Oh, are you talking about, Dragonfly, are you talking about putting the cost on the inventory items within whatnot? Oh, you experimented, yes. So in your inventory, you're correct. There is a field where you can put the item cost. Possibly the weekly report has that listed on it. Maybe. That to me is a useless feature and whatnot. It really doesn't translate. It's not on your monthly reports. It's definitely not any true source of accounting. I think it's if you look at piece by piece, it's a way for you to remember, but there's no real, let's do a report and get some true accounting information by using that field on your inventory. It just doesn't exist. That's one of those things that I wish I can go to Whatnot and be like, let's redesign this. It is a beast. Autocorrect is a beast. Selling items from your personal collection stuff you've owned for years with no intention of selling, how do you figure a cost of goods or leave at zero? So if you're taking personal items and you are now making them a business asset, you're bringing them into inventory. If you have a receipt, you use a receipt. If not, if you're like for sure, hey, I bought it, somewhere for $6 or $10. I know I can back that up in some way. You can look it up online, whatever. If you can really back it up, you can use that as your value. If there's no way to really back it up, if I just bought this stuff, I have no way to say what I paid for it. Then what you do is you go and look at a thrift store. What would that item sell for right now today at a thrift store? That's the price you put as your cost of goods or your inventory, and then eventually your cost of goods, because there's no other way to value it. So you go as conservative as possible by using a thrift store value. Macintosh. So that is actually a buyer option. So sellers, I got a question, you guys, on turning on closed captions. I've had this question before, and I've looked into it. I don't have the option of turning on closed captions. When I do, it's for me to see my closed captions. It's not a setting that sellers turn on to make available in their shows. It is really like as buyers, as people, we turn it on for our own side. And I don't know why, Macintosh, I don't know why it's not showing. Possibly because we run through a computer and not on a phone. But I've gone to Whatnot Help and I've looked that up because I've had this question before. Closed captions are something that we handle in our own individual settings as people on the app. It's nothing that a seller does outward. So there's nothing I can change that's going to help anybody else. My only guess is because we run solely through computers and not a phone would possibly be why. Cost of shipping is part of cost of goods. Kelly, yes. So if you're buying, say, on Whatnot or eBay to resell, and you're watching a show and you're like, oh, I can resell that, I'm going to buy it for my inventory. What you pay for the item, the taxes you pay, and the shipping you pay to get that item to you all becomes your cost of goods or your inventory cost and eventually your cost of goods sold. Additionally, those of you that maybe sell clothing and need to mend stuff or repair stuff, if you need to take it to a seamstress, if you need to fix something that's broken, the cost to improve an item also is cost of goods sold. So if you get broken things and you got to buy some, what is that E6000, whatever that glue is, to fix broken items before you can sell them, that glue could be considered part of cost of goods sold. I normally would just put it under supplies. I don't put it in cost of goods because it's so immaterial. But I'm more thinking like clothing, if you have to hire a seamstress to fix things or whatever before you can sell it, that's part of that cost of goods. So it's what you paid, the shipping, the taxes, and what you pay to improve the item in order to sell it is all part of cost of goods. That on the receipt instead of just the item price. It would be nicer if they did that, if they included the full cost on there. I think there is a way, actually there is. Southern Charm has said this before, and I don't remember. There is a way for you to download all of your purchasing activity through Whatnot. You can get like a CSV file. So there is a way to do it. I can't tell you the way. I don't remember.
Macintosh, I went back and checked, and unfortunately for the computer end, there's no way to turn on closed captioning. I know that after the show is uploaded to YouTube, YouTube will create the closed captions for the show. Right now, even if you watch it live, the closed captions are not enabled.
Oh, this is like, okay, hold on. I'm like, I had chat here that was frozen. I'm like, wait, I missed that question. I've got a question for you guys. We only have maybe 10, 15 minutes left, but I have a question for you guys. I was actually going to talk about today, and we'll just talk about this next week, which is cool. I was going to talk about the 10 reasons Whatnot businesses fail and what we can do to make sure that that doesn't happen to us. We'll talk about that next week. But I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask you guys a question before I read the questions that are there. How far in advance do you plan shows? So if you buy from 10 sales a year, pay $100 each sale, so it's $1,000, pay it out. You sell half, $500 is cost of goods for the year. $500 BMK, you got it. That's it. You have just walked through a perfect accounting example right there. Ashley's, is it against terms of service, Craft Beats, for people to claim and then a listing is created? No, you can do claim shows. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want to caution you. Now, it may work on beads. Keep this in mind. I have never sold beads, okay? So selling beads is probably a completely different beast than selling vintage decor. I just want to throw out there on claim shows. When you're doing a claim show, you may be catering to one person at a time, and that can be very boring for the other people in your room. So maybe when you're designing your show, just be cautious of, am I spending too much time trying to get what one person wants while I have 10 others just sitting there waiting? I'm not saying don't do claim shows. I've never done them. And again, I've never sold beads. I'm just thinking through logistically as a Whatnot show. When you're designing your claim show, think about how it feels to be on the other side of it and what the best flow would be. Okay, so how far in advance do people do shows? Aaron, Aaron. Yes, we're there.
Liz,
6 months.
Liz.
1 month, months. Previously mentioned, we're at months, 30 minutes. I have shows scheduled at the end of the year. Mary Maid, me too. I love a good year plan. A claim show is basically where you have stuff, you're showing stuff, and instead of running auctions, people are like, oh, I'm going to take that one. I want this one. There's different ways it's done. I'm giving you a very high level. But people are claiming through the chat the items. So then you're creating like little boxes for people. And then when they're ready, their box gets full or they're ready to leave, you run the listing as everything they claimed together as one listing. That's basically a claim show. There's many different ways to run them. That is just like one very high level explanation. I can imagine that with a lot of little things. I know jewelry, Farm LLC does claim shows sometimes. I don't know if she still does. I know she's done them in the past. And she has made a very successful way in the way she does claim shows, where it still keeps it moving really fast and it doesn't cater to just one person and it's engaging. So there's ways to do them. And again, I'm not against in saying not to. My thing would be to think through to make sure that the flow is good for everybody in the room. It works for you. Okay, so 30 minutes. We have a year out to 30 minutes. I asked this question because I saw this on Facebook, and I put an answer in there. I'm a year planner. I plan months, if not years, at least a year in advance. I have my show scheduled through the end of the year. I want to just kind of put this thought out there. Now, I know I'm a little type A, maybe a lot type A. And I like things listed, planned, ready. But if you don't plan your shows, what's stopping you? That's my first question. Let's do this. What's stopping you from planning at least 2 weeks in advance, if not 3 weeks in advance? What's stopping you from going any longer than a week? Wonder how many know the 2.9% credit card fee is charged on the entire amount. Reason to keep shipping low? I don't do it. I don't keep shipping low on the 2.9. It's such a minor fee that I don't know. And I think most people know. I know I've talked about it before. You love my type A. I'm very type A. Yep, I scheduled out 4 shows a week for the whole year. Can be a problem. There's sometimes wrong with one item. They do. So Mary makes a good point. On claim shows, if one item is broke, wrong, missing, whatever, They get a refund on the whole box, the whole thing of it, not just that one item. That is a downside of claim shows, but everything we do has pros and cons. And then we weigh those pros and cons and make the decision that's best. My get in place. What is what? What is the 2.9%? Is that what you're asking? Okay, so Liz says, I'm type B. If I plan too much, perfection paralysis sets in and I cancel, reschedule. 30 minutes doesn't let. So that's good. That's knowing yourself and you're like, I'm done. But Liz, I kind of feel though, listening to you, that you still have a plan in your head. I still kind of feel that you're like, okay, I'm going to do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever it is. Maybe you don't schedule it, but I still get the impression that you have somewhat of a plan already, even if you don't memorialize the plan with the show. I have a system that lets 30 minutes work. So yes, yeah. How do you schedule the length of time that you do not? You don't schedule the length of time the show runs. You decide when you're done with your show. Now, I highly suggest you have a plan going into it. You kind of know, I'm going to be on for, it's either you're going to say, I'm going to be on for 2 hours, or I'm going to be on until I show these items, or I'm going to be on until I make a certain dollar amount. You kind of go into it knowing how long you're going to be on to some extent. My shows are about an hour and a half. I can pretty much guarantee you I'm not going over an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes max. I'm not doing it. Life changes make me change shows, even though I have shows scheduled. That's the beauty of Whatnot. I have okay, Macintosh. I'm gonna challenge you on this one. This is where I think it is not the beauty of Whatnot. This is the downfall of Whatnot. This is the curse of Whatnot. You hear people say, schedule shows, go throw some shows out there so people can bookmark. Don't worry about it. You can change them if you need to. You're hurting yourself every time you change shows. You are hurting yourself every single time you cancel or reschedule a show. People come to Whatnot shows. People bookmark shows and they plan their shows around your schedule. It is like TV. Back in the day, when we wanted to watch Friends every Tuesday night at 7 p.m., guess what? Dinner was done, dishes were done, and my butt was on the couch so I can watch Friends. That's the way it was. And that's the way Whatnot is. Every time somebody bookmarks your show, that is a commitment that you have made to the people saying, I'm going to be here on this day and time. They bookmark it. They say, oh, that's cool. I really want to do this. I might not be able to, but I'm going to try my best. And if their best means that they show up because at 7 o'clock, because you said you're going to be on, and then at 7:05, 7:10, you're not there. The first time, life happens. We're going to give some grace. Okay, cool. I miss them. We'll catch them next time. The next time that happens, they're never on when they say they're going to be. The third time, I'm not bookmarking their shows. Why should I do that? They never show up anyways. How do you expect, and I'm not picking on Macintosh, and this is everybody I want and Whatnot. How do you expect people to show up for you if you cannot keep your commitment to them? It's a two-way street. You want a CPA? Oh, you wouldn't want one that's not type A. Yeah, true enough. Yeah, fair point. I boogered up my back yesterday and rescheduled. Wish there was a way to contact followers and let them know. There really isn't, besides putting something note within the show. Now, life throws us curveballs. There are exceptions. And I've had to cancel shows. I've been sick. I've got a migraine, whatever it is. I understand life throws curveballs at us. Those are the exceptions. We don't run our business off of exceptions. Those are the far and infrequent times when those happen. It is no different. I'm not going to go on a big old tangent. I do want to challenge people though. If you're working for somebody else, you have a job, a 9-to-5 job. Do you just wake up on Tuesday morning and be like, I feel like going in today. Oh, no, I'm just too tired. I'm going to reschedule today. Hey boss, I'm going to reschedule. Sorry. No, when somebody else is paying you, you show your butt up for work, unless it's the rare exception. Car accidents, kids are sick, you've got the massive migraine, whatever it is, right? It's rare exceptions. If you were just to blow off work all the time, you would get fired. If you as an employee are willing to do that for somebody else's business, why are you not willing to do that for your own and show that same level of commitment to your own business? The only way that you're going to do that is to schedule your shows. Hold yourself accountable to the schedule you create. So that another hill. I got a lot of them, y'all. I cringe every time I hear people on this app. Yes, I know it's about time. I cringe every time I hear people on this app say, put some shows in there so you can get bookmarks and you can reschedule them. I just wait for that comment because you know it comes. Really consider how rescheduling consistently hurts you instead of helps you as a business. Okay? Think about the businesses you go to. If your favorite restaurant they just didn't feel like showing up that day. Right? Should I have just run a flash sale? Should you? I don't know if you should have run a flash sale. You could run a flash sale. I'm not sure what that whole question entails right there. When? In what context? Yeah, sometimes you just have to suck it up and do it. Good morning, Chantilly Lace. All right, you guys. I'm waiting just to see if there's a follow-up. Last night when I canceled, should you have just run a flash sale? No, look. Exceptions happen, and there are times we have to cancel. We put a little note on the title, hey, this show has been rescheduled to, or is about to be rescheduled, personal illness, whatever. We'll maybe go into the show, and in the chat, we might write, family emergency came up, I'm so sorry, you guys, I'm going to reschedule this show. In those rare instances, we try to make some type of a notation in the chat or on the show title, so our followers, our viewers, people who are waiting for us, understand that. Just think about it from the buyer's side. They're only going to understand that on the rare circumstance. They're not going to be forgiving and keep wanting to come if that's the general way that you do business. Just flash sale static listings. I mean, you could. I just don't think it's worth it at that point. At the end of the day, your live selling is going to be far more beneficial to you than any bin sales, than any marketplace sales. Live selling, being here, showing, talking about your items, making that connection is going to be the most money-making opportunity you have. Where else can you really, honestly, and be super, super honest with yourself? If you load up your marketplace, you have all these static listings, and you take an hour during one day and you go to live sell versus your market listings, you're going to sell more live selling. You have more opportunity within an hour to make more money selling live than you do just loading your bin. I'm not saying don't load your bin, but don't rely on that as like, this is how my source of income over here is just loading my bin. So that's why I would say, don't even worry about doing flash sales. If by chance you have to cancel a show or reschedule a show, just reschedule it and sell when you go live. I wouldn't worry about doing flash sales and all of that stuff. I just don't think it's going to make up the money. The benefit's not there for the time that you would invest. So, all right, you guys, it is time. I do have a 9 to 5 that I have to get to because I have that commitment to my boss that I made. So we are going to go raid somebody. I have no idea who we're going to raid. Tomorrow is my day off on Whatnot, at least until September when I add a Thursday show. So I will be back Friday morning, 7 a.m., where we're going to talk about protecting your reputation as a seller. I'm sorry to hear that, Macintosh. All right, we're going to go raid somebody. Y'all, before I go, we're going to put ducks in the chat when we get there. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for asking questions, for making this a good, fun place to ask questions, for being kind, for supporting each other, and just for showing up in my show. I appreciate you, and we'll see you Friday morning. Who are we going to?
Let's go make a new friend. And when you get there, ask her for the Cobalt Blue Heart Vase.
Cobalt Blue Heart Vase. All right, let's go check this out.
Vase. Check it out. Let's make a new friend. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.